Hi everyone, I'm Casey Williams. I was at the Detroit Auto Show last weekend and I was thinking about Hyundai. And I remember a few years ago, in fact it's probably been more than a few years, probably more like 15 years or so, I remember going downstairs in the basement of Cobo Hall and there was Hyundai in this little teeny stand. They had an Accent and a Sonata sitting side by side, and next to them were Kia. And they weren't even allowed really on the main floor, nor could they really play with those global automakers. But then in 2008, they launched the Genesis sedan, a sub $35,000 car that really did compete with the European automakers. And it took Hyundai to a whole new level, and people really started taking them seriously. And which brings us to the car we have here today. It's the 2017 Genesis G90, and it's a flagship product for what's going to become an entirely separate brand from Hyundai. Let's go have a look at it. Well, the Genesis G90 replaces what used to be the Hyundai Equus. And you can see by looking at it, it's got some of the same styling, but it's a very large and massive car when you get up close to it. And it does compete against cars like the BMW 7 Series, the Audi A8, the Cadillac CT6, and a little bit against the Mercedes S-Class as well. So again, it really looks the part of being a flagship sedan. The front end of it shares a grille with the smaller Genesis G80. Again, looks very nice, kind of hexagonal grille, kind of connects it to the Sonata as well, and the Santa Fe crossover. Full LED headlamps, 19-inch alloy wheels. Again, on this car the wheels look kind of small, but they're actually 19-inch alloy wheels. But I think they've done a nice job too of not just being completely flashy and flamboyant with the car. There's some nice chrome at the bottom, nice chrome around the door windows. Again, I think it just gives a little bit of class. I like it in black. It looks like something the Korean Mafia might drive. But a very large car. Come around the back. Again, get a little bit of that BMW look to it, which I think is just fine. It works for it. I like the LED tail lamps too. I like the pattern in them. I think they're really classy. Looks very Asian as well, I think. Dual exhaust outlets. Power hatch, and a massively big trunk. This car is set up executive style, so really just 4 passengers in the car, and you'd have plenty of space to get 4 in and go anywhere you'd like to go. Well, the base G90 comes standard with a 3.3 liter twin turbo V6 that generates 365 horsepower. But that's not what we got. We went for the upper level 5 liter V8 that pumps out 420 horsepower, and it routes all that power to the rear wheels through an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can get all-wheel drive optional if you want it. This car is configured at 16 miles per gallon in the city, 24 miles per gallon on the highway. Again, I think for a car that has 420 horsepower, the size of this car, I think that gas mileage is right there where it needs to be. Internationally, most of the G90s they're purchased, the driver is going to ride in the back of and be chauffeured. So I really want to start back here first so you can see how much space is back here and how much comfort. It's really a very roomy car. And it's got all the controls back here. So this has the executive package on it. You've got a power reclining seat here. You've got adjustable headrests. The seats are heated and cooled. You can raise the sunshade here. You can also adjust the climate control back here. It's got automatic climate control for the rear seat passengers, air vents, controls here that duplicate the front controls for the infotainment system. So again, a lot of room back here. And also this car is really set up so the right side back seat, because you normally have a passenger in front of you, you can extend that. So you can actually move the seat forward from here, move as far forward as you want, flip that forward if you want to. And as you move that forward, you can really just stretch your legs out and have all the space that you need. So with that, let's go up to the front seat. Well, in the US, most of the people who buy the G90 are going to drive the car as well. And for those people, they're also going to get a lot of luxury and a lot of comfort and a very enjoyable drive. Start with the interior. It has the nicest leather, it has Napa leather. Front seats are heated and cooled. Driver's seat's 22-way, power adjustable. The wood's all real. It feels very nice. Everything's stitched. There's just nothing that feels cheap in this car. It feels like a very high-end luxury car. It definitely has the part. It has dual zone automatic climate control up here. Here's our control system for the infotainment system. Very similar to the one I showed you in the rear. It's a dial here with the screen. And of course, the car's got navigation, Bluetooth, USB inputs for everything you'd want. Car has a color heads-up display, full color, reconfigurable. I like that a lot as well. Some other features this car has a drive mode selector. So you can change the chassis, the steering, and the powertrain for Smart, which is kind of their version of Comfort. Sport stiffens things up, makes things a little more sensitive in the throttle. Eco kind of does the opposite, makes the throttle less sensitive, helps you save some gas mileage. Then Individual, and you can customize those features how you want to. On the safety front of this car, you've got automatic crash mitigation in the front with pedestrian detection, So it recognizes a person, it'll automatically brake if it has to. Lane keep assist, blind spot warning. It has, again, just all the features you really need to keep the car safe and comfortable. And one other thing that I really do like about this car, it has the Lexicon audio system on it. It's probably not the very best audio system I've ever heard, but it's darn close. And again, a car at this price point, I think it's fantastic. Well, it may take me just a few more minutes to quit calling the Genesis a Hyundai, but after spending a lot of time in the G90, it's probably not going to be that tough. It truly is a car that separates itself from the brand. This plus the G80 and the cars to come from Genesis. There's going to be a new G90 smaller sedan, a line of crossovers, and they're really dedicated to having their own dedicated rear drive platforms and really separating things apart. And again, I think spend a little time with the car and realize it's capable of doing that. So the question is, is this really competitive with the Mercedes S-Class? I don't think this is quite up to the level of a $140,000 S550. However, it's getting there, and when you think about the price, it's pretty fantastic. So the car starts at $68,100. This one, as equipped, is $70,650. That puts it a full $12,000 or so below its closest competitors, like a BMW 7 Series or an Audi A8. And when you think about an S550 starting at $96,000, it's an incredibly good value for the car. So next week we're with another fun car, and until then, storm forward.